Welcome to the Odra, Cooking and Fine Wines channel. If you have been looking for information on making fried green tomatoes, cutting, seasoning, flouring and battering better or in a better way, these are our top 5 recipes.
Wow.
Video number 1 is from the Crockett Way Vlogs YouTube channel.
Wow.
So husband, do you approve?
Greatly.
Son, do you approve?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Judah, do you approve?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so happy to have you here. And today this video is not going to last very long because we're going to be whipping up a very simple and easy meal. And what we're making are fried green tomatoes, Southern style. Yes, you heard it right. Southern style fried green tomatoes. Now, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to hit that notification bell so that you will always be notified whenever we upload a new video. So if fried green tomatoes have tickled your palate, keep watching. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with 4 very firm green tomatoes. You wanna make sure they're firm because the firmer they are, the less water content they'll have. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the sink and we're gonna wash these tomatoes as good as possible. You can use a fruit and vegetable washer, or you can use your hands like I'm doing here, and you want to make sure that you scrub them as much as possible because you want to get rid of a lot of the residue and some of the sand that may be on the tomatoes. Now that we have them all cleaned, we're going to move over to the cutting board and we're going to cut these tomatoes, I'll say about 1/4 inch thick. You don't want them to be too thick and you don't want them to be too thin. You want them to be just right. So we're going to cut these very well, and you want to make sure that you're using a very good knife. You can use a tomato cutting knife because you don't want to cut yourself. It's very easy to do, so you want to make sure that you're protected and you stay safe. All right, so now that we have our tomatoes cut, we're going to transfer them over to a paper towel lined surface. The paper towel is going to absorb most of the water from the tomatoes. After that, we're going to go ahead and sprinkle some kosher salt or even some regular iodized salt onto the tomatoes. And this is going to season the tomatoes as well as draw out most of the water from the tomatoes. You don't want soggy tomatoes, especially after we fried them. You want them to be nice and crispy. So then you're going to turn them over and you're going to repeat that process again. Now, while we sit and let those wait, we're going to go ahead and mix the remoulade sauce. So what you will need is 3/4 cup of mayo, and you want to make sure that it's real mayo, okay? Because that is really going to make a big difference for the taste of the dipping sauce. So next we're going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and this Dijon mustard is going to make a big difference for your dipping sauce. You can use regular Dijon mustard or stone ground, it's totally up to you. Then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. You can use yellow mustard or wheat mustard. Next, we're going to use 1 to 2 cloves of minced chopped garlic. Next, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. So we're going to go ahead and just pour that right in there. Next, we're going to use 2½ teaspoons of hot sauce, preferably Louisiana style. Next, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and this is going to help with the color. You'll then need juice of ½ a lemon, so we're just going to squeeze that in, and it's going to give it that nice tangy flavor. So we're going to squeeze all that tangy goodness out. Next, you're going to need 1 to 2 stalks of scallions, and you want to make sure that you chop these nice and fine. And this is going to give the sauce a nice fresh flavor. All right, so we're going to dump those in there. Next, you're going to need 1 tablespoon of chopped capers, and you want to chop these nice and fine, and just going to get those right in there. So once we have all of our ingredients in one bowl, we're going to use our whisk and we're going to mix it up really nicely. And you'll notice the color from the paprika and the cayenne pepper and the hot sauce gives it this nice, beautiful color. So let's give it a taste. Absolutely delicious. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and set that to the side, and we're gonna move over to the stove where we will be using a cast iron skillet. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, that's okay. Any frying pan will work fine. We're gonna add about 1 to 2 inches of vegetable oil over medium-high heat. Then we're gonna use 3 bowls for our flouring station. So in the first bowl, you're gonna add about 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. And to that flour, you're gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, or you can use white pepper, it's totally up to you. We're gonna mix all those ingredients together, and then we're gonna go ahead and set it to the side to prepare our next flouring bowl. So into this bowl, you're gonna add 1 cup of cornmeal, half a cup of breadcrumbs of your choice, and we're gonna go ahead and just mix that all together. We're gonna go ahead and set that aside, and now we're gonna mix our liquid ingredients. So first, you're gonna need 2 eggs. I like to use a fork to mix my eggs because it's so much easier for me than using a whisk. So we're gonna mix those together. And then to that mixture, we're gonna add 1 cup of buttermilk. And the reason why I'm using buttermilk in this recipe is because it allows the flour and the cornmeal to adhere to the tomatoes a lot better than regular milk. So we're gonna get that nicely mixed up. And now that we have our flouring station all set up, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at our tomatoes. And as you can see, the napkins are completely saturated with water. So you just wanna get another napkin and just dab the top of the tomatoes to get rid of any excess water. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and start breading our tomatoes. So the first thing you want to do is just stick the tomato in the flour first and make sure it's fully coated. So you want to make sure you have a dry hand and a wet hand, okay? So now we're just going to drop the tomato into the buttermilk and egg mixture, and you want to be very delicate while doing this process. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add the tomato into the cornmeal mixture. And you wanna use your dry hand and make sure you coat it completely. And you'll notice here that it's completely covered the tomato. All right, so let's get another look at that, but let's get a close-up. So the first thing, again, you wanna make sure that you completely coat the tomato with the flouring mixture. With your dry hand, you're gonna go ahead and dump the tomato into the buttermilk and egg mixture. With your wet hand, you're gonna make sure that it's completely coated all over. You wanna be very delicate when you're doing this process. Next, you're gonna go ahead and drop the tomato into the cornmeal mix, and with your dry hand, you're gonna completely coat it, and you wanna make sure you get the sides as well, okay? So you wanna make sure it's nice and crunchy all over the tomato. Then we're gonna just go ahead and just add it to a paper towel or parchment paper lined surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish these, and we'll be right back because we're gonna get these babies into the frying pan. All right, so now we're over to the frying pan. You want to make sure that your oil is about 325 degrees Fahrenheit or hot enough to make that nice little sizzle there. You don't want it to be too hot because it will burn your tomatoes on contact. And you also want to make sure you don't overfill the pan, and you want to keep the tomatoes nicely separated. We're going to let these cook about 4 minutes, and then we're going to turn them over and let them cook for another 4 minutes. Look at that beautiful golden brown color, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that. My mouth is watering like you would not believe. Oh my goodness. All right, so now you notice that it has that really nice golden brown color. That's what you're looking for, and the tomatoes are floating, so that means they're done. Now it's time to remove them from the frying pan, and we're gonna place them on a cooling rack. And as you can see there, I have a paper towel underneath the cooling rack to catch any excess oil drippings. Look at that, guys. Let's get a close-up. Oh my goodness. Now it's time to get Kendrick and the boys in here to taste test these and see what they think. All right, so taste test. I'm gonna let the hubs and the boys try them, and let's see if they approve of it. All right, guys, dig in.
All right. Tasting. I want to eat it right now. Wow, this is much better than I expected. What's the sauce? It tastes really good.
It's homemade sauce. It's called remoulade.
You want to taste too? Why is it so good?
So husband, do you approve?
Great.
Son, do you approve?
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Judah, do you approve?
Yes, ma'am. Of course, I approve of all your cooking.
Thank you, honey.
But this, Lord Jesus, this is blessed food.
This is a meal in itself.
Yes, so this is like the appetizer before you guys actually eat Sunday's dinner.
No, we won't eat them all.
By the way, I made some fried pork chop, mashed potatoes, corn, and homemade biscuits.
Thank you guys for coming to this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys around. Bye.
Goodbye. Deuces.
So we hope you enjoyed our version of Southern style fried green tomatoes. It is one amazing comfort food. And if you did, please leave us a comment down below letting us know what your favorite part of the video was. And don't forget to subscribe and be sure to hit that notification bell so you will always know when we upload a new video. We upload a new video at least twice a week, so definitely look out for that. You guys take care, be safe, and God bless.
Video number
Hey
2
guys,
is
I'm Chef
Cooking at
Pam.
Pam's Place
Welcome back to my
YouTube
kitchen.
channel.
This is Chef and More, and today we are going to be making fried tomatillos. Guys, if you've ever had a fried green tomato, you will love these. Let's get in the kitchen and get busy. Okay guys, so the first thing we want to do is peel off this little paper casing. Just peel that off, each one. Now when you peel it off, they'll probably be just a little bit sticky, so we'll go over and wash them off right quick. Then we're going to slice them up, and it comes off real easy, as you can see. Just take each one off. Okay guys, I'm going to get these washed up, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have them all washed up right quick, and I noticed this one has a bad spot on it, so I'm going to actually slice that bad spot off and keep it moving. We're going to get them sliced up, then we're going to lay them out on paper towels, sprinkle some salt on them, and let them drain a little bit. That's going to pull out some of that extra moisture. Get this off right quick. Make sure the rest of it is good. It's okay. So toss that aside. Just lay this one down this way. We're going to toss the tops aside. And you don't want them too thin, but you don't want them too thick either. So about that thickness is what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for, guys. Cut off this little end right here. Okay guys, I'm going to get the rest of these sliced up and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have them all sliced up. And we just lay them down here side by side, just like this, so that we can sprinkle them with kosher salt and allow them to pull some of that extra moisture out of them. Okay, just put a good amount on there. It's just going to pull out that extra moisture so they won't be soggy when they're fried. And we're going to let them sit like this for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then we're going to flip them over, change the paper towels, and do the other side, and we'll be back. Okay guys, and as you can kind of see, I'm going to lift this up a little bit. Underneath there you can see how wet the paper towels are. That's because all that extra water has drained out. Now, because we put the kosher salt on them, you just want to take them and wipe them off, get some of that salt right back off of them, and sit them down in your flour. Sit them down in your flour, guys. That's all you want to do. Okay, so just toss them really well in your flour. Then we're going to go ahead and make our batter for them. It's going to be pretty much a tempura batter. I like to use tempura batter anytime I can on my vegetables because the texture is light. It doesn't weigh you down and make you feel like you're eating all this fried food. And it keeps it really light. So I'm just going to coat these real well, and I'll run them back through the flour again right before I dip them in the actual batter. Okay, we have our oil heating up, and to this is just all-purpose flour. We're going to be adding cornstarch. I'm not big on measurements, so I'm just going to put some in here. It provides that extra crispiness, just regular cornstarch. I'm going to add in some garlic powder. Always season in layers, guys. Season in layers. Onion powder. I'm not big on using different salts like onion salt and garlic salt because I think once you combine all those salts together, it can get a little bit salty, and we've already had them sitting in salt, so I think that's enough. And here's some paprika. You can always dust them with a little salt in the end after you fried them up. Okay, so we're going to mix this up. We'll be adding some ice cold water, guys, to make our batter. Ice cold water. Don't want that ice to get in there. Let's see. And guys, while our oil is coming up to temp, we have our batter all made. For those of you who may not know, tomatillos, or some people say tomatillos, some people say tomatillo, some people say tomatillo. So I'm going to say tomatillos. Okay then. They are actually a cousin to the green tomato, or to the tomato in general, not green, because most tomatoes are green before they turn red. Okay. Yes, they are actually a distant cousin to the tomato. They just have a little lemony type flavor. So, you know, sometimes when you have that fried food, you want just a little squeeze of lemon or lime to bring in that acidity. These already have it because it's in the natural flavor. A lot of people use them for salsa and things like that. So just wanted to let you know, they are a cousin to the fried, not the fried green tomato. Come on now, to the tomato. Let's get them fried up. Okay, so our oil is nice and hot, and one more thing I'm going to add to my batter, I'm going to put in a little complete. This is one of my go-to seasonings. You don't have to add this. I just think it brings a little earthiness to veggies when they're fried, or even when they're not. I put it in my salads and everything. I just love it, guys. So I'm going to put that in my batter in the end. Sprinkle a little bit more in here because I want it to come through really well because I just love it. Again, you can skip the complete. If you don't have it, don't like it, don't want it. Put your own seasonings in there, whatever seasonings you might like, guys, whatever seasonings you might like. Okay, so this is good and hot. In fact, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. And we're going to put our tomatoes, make sure you dust them again with the flour into the batter. And I'm going to sit this spoon down because I need to use a dry hand and a wet hand. So we're going to just go in here like this. Make sure that they are good and coated, guys. Good and coated in the batter. Make sure that excess falls off. Always get the excess off, guys. That just clumps up in the oil. And that just clumps up in the oil. And guys, it can be pretty messy on your hands and fingers, and everybody doesn't like that. So another little trick you can do is to use a toothpick. Stir it around really good, flip it over using that toothpick. You can use your spoon to make sure it's covered. Everybody doesn't like using their hands, so I like to kind of show more ways that you can do it without using your hands. You can even pick it up with that toothpick. Let the excess drop off. And in it goes, guys, in it goes. Okay, let's move right along. I'm going to put 2 or 3 of these in here, and we're going to get them all in the skillet, and we will be back. Okay guys, so these look like they are just about ready to turn over, some of them. I'm going to let them cook for just a couple of more seconds on this side, and then we'll get them all turned over, guys. Yes, looking good. Okay guys, and while those are frying up, we're going to make a spicy mayo dip for them. It's just going to be mayo and red hot sauce, guys. That's it. That's all we need. Mayo in here. Shake in a little of your hot sauce and mix it well. This is a real simple and easy spicy dip. You can make it as hot as you like it. And that's the beauty of it. The thing about it is you want to mix it well until it's nice and smooth. Oh yeah. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Okay guys, let's check on our tomatillos. Okay guys, let's get them turned over. They are looking good and crispy. Yes, delicious, delicious, delicious. Get them all turned over, and we'll be back when it's time to take them out. So guys, we are all ready to come out, and I'm going to let them drain on a cooling rack before we go ahead and actually plate them. All right, yes. Look at that, guys. Look how nice and crispy that is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these out, and we'll be back when it's time for our taste test. Guys, we are all done. Doesn't that look delicious? Isn't that delicious, guys? Look at those fried tomatillos. Delicious, 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 guys. Delicious. Okay, guys, we are ready for the taste test. Isn't that delicious? Look at that again, guys. Delicious, delicious, delicious. And our sauce, let's just go ahead and dip it in the sauce, guys, and give this a taste. The batter is crunchy. The sauce is spicy. The tomatillos are lemony. You got the best of both worlds. I'm telling you guys, if you like fried green tomatoes, you have got to try these, guys. A snack, a side dish, whatever. Guys, please subscribe to this channel. Help me reach the next milestone. Give me a thumbs up and share me out. Sharing is caring, guys. Sharing is caring. Guys, I really do appreciate each and every one of you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Video number 3 is from the Boots and Bonnets with Chris and Christy YouTube channel.
Ready? Hello friends. Today I'm going to introduce you to my biggest fan, and her name is Roslyn. She loves Boots and Bonnets, and she watches it about every day.
Well, when I come to Mom and Papa's.
Yeah. What recipe do you like the best?
I like because the chocolate pie looks good,
Uh-huh.
and the Kool-Aid pie.
the Kool-Aid pie. She likes those too. So Rosalind's been cooking at home with her aunt and her mama, and she's made a video, and we're gonna make her a star on Boots and Bonnets. And she made some fried green tomatoes. And were they yummy? They were? Yeah. And so we're gonna share that recipe with y'all of her cooking. And y'all give her an applause for cooking so young. How old are you?
7.
You're 7? All right, so she's learning young. All right, y'all. Well, y'all enjoy her fried green tomatoes.
This cooking show. Here's my mom and my Aunt Peggy. We're making fried green tomatoes. And let's get started. Now, here we have our green tomatoes, and we have onion powder, and garlic, and paprika, and salt, and pepper. And here's flour, and cornmeal, and then egg, and buttermilk.
Awesome.
So we're gonna put these two together. I think
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna
pour the others in. Those, not those.
Yeah, put all of your dry ingredients in there, Roz.
Then we put pepper in here first.
Hold on, what you got?
Then salt.
Go ahead.
In here after. And then here's our paprika. Put our paprika in there. And then we're gonna put our onion powder in there. And then we're gonna put our garlic in there.
Mix your eggs and your
We're
buttermilk.
gonna mix our eggs and buttermilk.
Stir it up really good.
Put it in there. Stir it. Keep on stirring until we're done.
So what did we add to it? We added a little bit more paprika.
We add some paprika,
Oh,
salt,
no, we added
We add
some
a
more
little
ingredients.
paprika and parsley.
Parsley flakes.
and parsley.
All right.
And then we added some pepper.
Okay.
So now we need to move on to the next.
Yeah, we're gonna get ready to dip these green tomatoes in there. Don't they look good?
We have some.
Now,
Now we're gonna test our oil and see if it's hot enough. So
It's
just
just kind of. Okay, that's good. That's a little hot. Maybe a little bit longer.
yeah. We'll pause again.
now we're ready.
Ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
just get this.
Dip it in there really good.
Dip it in here real good.
Top one.
Dip it in here real good. I found it, Mama.
All the way.
All the way.
I found it.
And then put it in here. Put some on. And sometimes it might make a little mess.
Just pat it down in the.
Just
Turn a little bit so you can see it. Okay. Get it real nice and coated.
Let's look.
we're supposed to get it real nice.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good now.
Good.
And we'll just gently lay it down in here. Here, let me put it in here. Woo!
But you know,
And we're gonna have to turn that down a little bit.
All right, we'll come back in just a minute and see how those look. Wow, don't those look good?
yeah.
All right, let's do the taste test now. All right, Rosie, tell us what you think. Try it in that ranch.
Hands
It's really hot, so blow on it.
tastes good.
Yeah? Good. All right, so Rosie, what do you want people to do if they want to see more videos?
I just want them to cook it and see how good it tastes, and I want them to watch it.
And you want some suggestions on what else to cook?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Video number 4 is
Hey
from
guys,
the
this is
jjac'Keee
Jackie. How you
KooKz
guys doing
YouTube
today? I'm
channel.
going to be making some fried green tomatoes today. So I'm just going to cut up my green tomatoes, which looks like apples. The color is so beautiful. I had a craving, so I just wanted to make these today because I knew I wouldn't be satisfied unless I cooked them. So I had my first tomato cut up, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut up my next green tomato, which is going to be so delicious I can hardly wait. So I have about 2 cups right here in this bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1 cup of self-rising cornmeal, 1/4 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of seasoned salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of hot buffalo wing sauce. I got 2 eggs. I got a half a cup of milk. And I'm going to go ahead and mix that up in a bowl very quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and put my grease in the pan. I have some leftover grease from those pork chops I made the other day. I'm just going to use that. And to that, I'm going to add some vegetable oil. And I'm going to fill it up to it's about 2 inches. And I'm just going to let that grease heat up, the vegetable oil. Then I'm going to go ahead and dip my tomato in the mixture of the cornmeal, flour, and all my seasonings. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the pan. I'm just going to keep repeating that until I have my pan all filled up with the coated green tomatoes. And I finished, so I'm cooking them about 3 minutes on each side until they are a delicious golden brown. And here they are. They look so beautiful. I can hardly wait to just bite into them. They're going to be so good, especially with that buffalo hot wing sauce, that powder in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and take those out. And I have some garlic Hidden Valley Ranch sauce. I didn't really say garlic sauce. I have some ranch sauce. I'm just going to dip that in there. And I'm just going to take a big old bite just to satisfy my palate. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video. I love you and I thank you for your support. Until the next video, bye-bye.
Video number 5
Hey
is from
everybody,
the
I'm Jeff Baker,
Baker
and welcome to
YouTube
This Is
channel.
What I'm Talking About.
Thank you for watching
Today
our
I'm talking
top
about
5
deep-fried
recipes.
vegetables.
Hit that like button and that
Let's start.
subscribe button if you enjoyed this
This
video.
isn't anybody else's recipe. This is just one of my favorite all-time foods to do. And I've actually never done it on a grill before. And my one concern is whether my oil is going to get hot enough. So we'll have to see what happens here. I like to use a tempura batter. Some people like cornmeal, different things like that. I go for tempura. Now the box calls for water to mix this with. I'm going to use cream soda. I love cream soda. After Mountain Dew, it's my favorite soda. I don't know if you may have watched, it's been several weeks ago now, I did a fish recipe for somebody. And I used Mountain Dew when I was mixing up the batter. And found out later that the person I did the recipe for can't stand Mountain Dew, so she didn't try the recipe. Too bad, because it was really a good fish recipe. But anyway, this time I'm going to use cream soda. See how that does. And we're going to stir this up really good. And then what I'm going to do, add just a little bit of spice to it, and add a little bit of chili powder. Isn't going to be hot at all, it's just going to add a little spice to it. To Today I'm going to be doing zucchinis, bell peppers, and green tomatoes, all out of my garden. One thing that Gopher didn't get to was my last zucchini plant. All of this zucchini is from one large zucchini. This dude was about yay big. So we are going to try, I don't know if that's going to get hot enough or not. I'm going to try a little strip of bell pepper here. I was actually going to do mushrooms, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do what I'm getting out of my garden. Oh yeah, that's going to work. Do a couple zucchinis here. Actually got this a little bit too thin. More thin than I wanted. This zucchini was huge. I got 2 of them like that out of the garden. And I guess we're going to get plenty hot, aren't we? So you can hear that bubbling by now. I actually could have used a little bit more batter and a little less of the cream soda. I've always loved deep fried foods. I like everything. Deep fried vegetables, the deep fried Twinkies. I haven't tried making those, but I've actually had them. Definitely could have made this thicker. So just as a thought, if you're watching this video and you're actually going to make this, don't put quite so much liquid in there. It's just still going to taste good anyway. Let's go ahead and do one more of each. Just coating it as good as you can. You know what the temperature is at today. It's really nice. About 80 degrees, steady breeze. Perfect day in Southern California. I'll save the green tomatoes until last, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. Yep, you definitely want more batter on these. So we're just doing what we'll call a light coating. Zucchini go just a little bit more, then a little bit farther down. And I think I've actually gotten rid of my gopher. Yay! Strange how it happened too. I came out about a week and a half ago. I came out in the morning and all the holes that Shawnee had dug up looking for the gopher were all damp, and I couldn't figure out why they were damp because I hadn't watered the lawn. I happened to look over at my garden and remembered that I had put the soaker hose on the night before and left it on all night. And evidently that had trickled down into the tunnel system and got everything wet. And evidently must have run the gopher off, because it's been about a week and a half. I haven't seen any more mounds, and Shawnee hasn't dug any more holes. That's a good thing. Remember, we're calling these lightly coated. All right, for the green tomatoes, what I'm actually going to do is add some brown sugar to the batter. And why am I doing that, you ask? Well, green tomatoes are really acidy. The brown sugar will help cut down on the acid. You won't have that bitter flavor. Actually, in this case, looks like it might even be thickening up the batter a little bit, which is a good thing. All we're doing is adding brown sugar to the batter. And let's coat a couple little tomato slices here. The other zucchini and pepper that I had in there. It's actually another one of the things that works really good on the stove. As it turns out, it's actually working pretty good out here on the grill also. That was my bad for not having the batter thicker. I didn't have any more batter, so I couldn't add anything to it. Looks like I'll be making a trip to the store for some more tempura batter. You should get the idea of how it's made. You get the gist. I still need some recipe ideas, folks, so make some comments on this video. Let me know what you want to see. I can either work on the grill, I can work inside on the stove, either way. Let me know what you want me to cook, or if you want me to cook. It's a gorgeous day out here in San Diego. Actually got some corn off of my stalks. I don't know if you can tell by that shot. Corn's looking good. I pulled some of it down already. In fact, I did it. Let you see it. We're not talking anything huge here, but I mean, for my little 5 foot by 10 foot plot of land there, I think I'm doing all right. I think I've got another maybe 4 or 5 years left on there yet, so I can pull off. Got some tomatoes. I've got, in the next week, I'm going to have tons of tomatoes actually. The ones that are ripening right now are called Rutgers Heirloom. Never tried those before. In fact, I just had one a little while ago. I sliced it up, put some salt on it, and ate it. And it's really a sweet flavor and really, really good. I probably have enough time right now to harvest that whole thing and start over and do another one this year. We can grow a vegetable garden out here almost year round. Yeah, just remember you want more batter. She said you want thicker batter. Not more. Put these on the plate here. And so you have lightly deep fried bell peppers, zucchini, and fried green tomatoes. Like I said, one of my favorite foods. See what you think. Alrighty, that's going to do it for this time. Now I can tell my friends and family, laissez les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. So now I'm getting ready to eat my deep fried vegetables. And that's what I'm talking about.